All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to today's holiday webinar. I am super pumped and excited to introduce our co-host today, Alexa Kilroy from FERMAT. Hello, how are you, Alexa? How's it going this Wednesday?
Hi, thank you for having me. Super stoked to be here.
Great. All right, so for those folks who are joining, please go ahead and put your name, your brand, and or product and where you're joining from in the chat. And then if you have any questions during the presentation, during the webinar, please put it in the chat and we will answer all of your questions at the end.
Amazing.
All right, Alexa, why don't you kick it off for us?
Kick it off. Amazing. Okay, great. So if you registered, I think everyone had to register on the SUNA webpage for this, which was beautiful. You might notice that the title of my presentation is slightly different. I was originally only going to hit y'all with 5 experiments, but I went a little bit deeper, give a little bit more robust tactical experiments that y'all can use for Black Friday, Cyber Monday this year. So I'm super stoked to be here. I am Alexa. I'm the Director of Marketing at FERMÁT. I'll share a little bit about who we are and what we do in a moment, but we help you build funnels, post-ad click shopping experiences for your customers. So that is what we're going to be digging into, funnel strategy for Black Friday this year. So just quick overview of what we're going to tackle. I'm going to talk a little bit about some strategy and methodology stuff. We're going to talk about how a lot of brands currently run their e-commerce funnels, and I'm going to introduce kind of a new funnel strategy that we call the hub and spoke model. I'm going to explain why it's like perfect to start rolling out for Black Friday this year if you haven't rolled it out yet. And then I'm going to dig into 10 tactical experiments for Black Friday using actual like top performing e-com brands right now. And I've broken them down based on what your business goals might be for this year's Black Friday. So hopefully it's super helpful and you can walk away with this taking some stuff home with you. But if we haven't met before yet, hi, I'm Alexa. I go by Lex, thanks to the incredible Amazon invention that rocked our world during the COVID Zoom era. I am now the Director of Marketing at FERMÁT, but I actually started my career as a growth marketer myself, doing everything from writing ad copy and actually shooting assets myself. I used Suna back in the day, in addition to shooting them on my own. Back on the brand side, I worked a lot in the supplement space. I was then head of brand at Triple Whale, which is a analytics and attribution solution for Shopify brands. Went to Stay AI, which is a subscription tech company, and joined FERMÁT in about February of this year. So let's start talking about strategy a little bit. Let's talk about funnels and funnel methodology and all that kinds of good stuff. So I'm going to start by presenting what I kind of call the single funnel problem that we see very commonly across a lot of e-commerce brands. And here's the root of where it all comes from. It comes from where brands evaluate ad efficacy. So typically there are these 3 like personas that you see within a growth marketing or performance marketing e-commerce team. There is what I call the creative, and that person is very much like a creative strategist. They're really focused on hook rate, hold rate, click-through rates as their North Star metrics. Then you have growth marketers who are very focused on things like cost per acquisition, ROAS, revenue per session, sales volume per ad, that sort of thing. And then sometimes you have a mishmash, maybe of one person that's trying to do it all or run multiple roles in a department. And in that kind of role, you're really just doing your best to kind of optimize all the metrics that your boss, your team, your company cares about all at once. But here's kind of where this tug of war ends up happening, where you have this creative persona that's very focused on awareness and interest at the top of the funnel. They're pulling. They're always finding better ways to talk about your products, better connect with your audiences, and get people down into the funnel. But your growth marketer that's very focused on that CPA and they're focused on conversion and ROAS, they're pulling where they're launching and scaling the best ads that really match the best with your brand's top funnel. So both of these roles are really good at pulling, but they also have some push and some give. When you're really focused on that top of the funnel creative, sometimes your ad performance can look up, but your conversion rate can look down. And overall, you're not making as much money in the long run. And if you're really focused on conversions, you're just launching the best ads, right? That convert the best, that make the most money. And you're missing out on a lot of great sales opportunities, leveraging other great ads, ad creative, et cetera. So you kind of end up in this tug of war between these personas, or if you're the mishmash, you're probably just doing the best, on your own, tugging the rope yourself. But you either end up with a kind of creative dominated marketing team where your buyer journey lacks consistency, or you end in a very performance driven situation in which scaling is really difficult and you're missing out on sales opportunities. This is very common when we see brands that are sending all their ads kind of in this single funnel approach, and it's doing both camps a disservice. So when I say the single funnel approach, it looks like this, right? You might have a billion different amazing ads out there that you're all sending to a single landing page or a single product page directly, maybe, or a collection or category page. But ultimately, all of those buyers from all those different traffic sources, different buyer personas, different value props for purchasing products, all that kinds of stuff, they're going through the same funnel. And so they're getting the same landing page experience, product page experience, cart experience, and then they're all going through that same checkout. And I know what you're thinking, okay, but we use multiple landing pages, Alexa. We send some people to the LP and some people to the PDP. Same, but different, right? So even if you have a couple champion hero landing pages, you're still sending all of those people, all of those traffic sources, buyer personas, value props, product value props, all through that same funnel. So they're getting the same product page, cart, and checkout experience. So we talk a lot at FERMÁT about owning the outcome. And that is something that we say to kind of talk about how you can have the flexibility as a growth marketer, performance marketer, to really own the entire buyer conversion experience from the moment that they hit that ad all the way through to their cart. So I'm going to introduce a model called the hub and spoke model and share a little bit about why it makes a ton of sense for Black Friday, or to roll out at least for this Black Friday if you haven't implemented it already. So the hard truth is that if you want to keep scaling, you need to own the outcome from click to conversion. As a growth and performance marketer, you typically pull a lot of levers around the ad itself. So the media buying, the ad placement, the ad creative, and the ad copy. But what we challenge brands to do is to kind of give those reins back to your growth and performance marketers to have the flexibility to experiment and have that sort of experimentation surface area throughout the entire funnel, so that you can also experiment on variables in the landing experience, the PDP, and the cart. And so what the hub and smoke model looks like is more like this, where essentially, if you think about it, like to hyper simplify it, you're almost sending all of your ad traffic, these different unique types of ads that you're running, maybe they're for different products or different buyer personas or different traffic sources, through their own like mini funnels. And then the checkout is your centralized hub, right? So that gives you the opportunity to then really experiment on more than just the ad creative, but further deep down the funnel for that type of buyer that clicked on that ad. So you've got the landing page messaging. You can then tweak with product descriptions and merchandising and creative, all the offers or types of bundles that you want to present. Because when you're working with like one core landing page, right, you're kind of beholden to what you have merchandised in your PDP. You either redirect to your PDP, or maybe you embed elements from your existing PDP in your core Shopify site. You can't really tweak around a lot. So with the hub and spoke model, if you're building all these things in sort of their own niche funnels and then sending to a centralized checkout, you have the opportunity to go ahead and edit and tweak and optimize and experiment on all these different elements of the buyer journey from ad all the way to checkout. And the reason why hub and spoke experiments are so cool is because you're creating these really targeted and personalized buyer journeys, you have all these unlocks that come as a result. So broadly, there's a huge market expansion opportunity where perhaps there are buyers that typically, let me restart. Broadly, there's market expansion opportunity in the sense that you typically centralize your e-commerce site around your core buyer persona, right? You sell a certain product, you typically sell to, I don't know, women who are 35 that live in the US, right? So your whole core Shopify site, your PDPs, your creative, all that kinds of stuff typically speaks to that buyer persona. But when you leverage something like hub and spoke and you're able to build these unique funnels, you can then build a unique buyer journey for someone who is maybe not typically seeing themselves or seeing their interest in purchasing the product on your core Shopify instance. There's also CVR lift that comes as just a result of messaging alignment. So if you're able to present a really exciting offer in that ad itself, and then present that all the way through, maybe through an advertorial, and then through a PDP, and then through the cart experience, there's just CVR lift that comes as a result. There's another great example where perhaps you have a product, we'll talk a bit more about this later, that has a bunch of different product benefits. This is very common in supplements or in skincare, where it's got, anti-aging benefits and wrinkle reduction benefits and skin plumping benefits. But if you're able to launch an ad that really hits with a buyer persona that wants wrinkle reduction specifically, and then continue that messaging all the way through to the cart, you're going to see a CVR lift in just that congruence in the funnel. There's a huge LTV lift opportunity where you can create dedicated subscription opt-in optimized funnels, CVR and AOV lifts from dedicated and targeted offers, AOV lifts from targeted upsells that are directly personalized for that buyer persona or what complementary products might fit based on the ad that somebody entered the funnel from. And then another really cool one we're going to talk about in a bit is simplified merchandising. So this is a great example of this is like when you click on an ad for a really cool pair of shorts, and then you end up in sort of a collection page or a PDP with a ton of different variants. And you're like, I want that one pair of shorts that I saw in that ad. By using Hub and Spoke, you're able to create a really centralized and niche down funnel so that you can simplify the merchandising of that product and just get someone to check out for that thing that they clicked on. And that's just such a frictionless experience that you'll see a CVR lift as a result. And applying this methodology specifically to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, there are really 3 big points here that I want to stress. One is that you're de-risking your experimentation. So with Hub and Spoke, your changes are made on a funnel by funnel basis. You don't need to risk Shopify downtime. You don't need to risk, having to waste time going back and forth with developers or designers, or any performance drops that might come as a result of trying to make tweaks on your champion landing page or your product pages. You also have flexibility over your sales period. So I think this is a thing that people do not talk about enough. Black Friday, Cyber Monday starts in October and it runs right through November. And some people kind of start to roll their Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales directly into holiday and then New Year's. And so it's just kind of this amoeba that I feel like keeps growing bigger and bigger every year. In the day-to-day of your business over a 3 to 4 week period, your sales goals, the way that you pitch products, your stock and inventory, they change. And so it's silly to think that we can create 1 or 2 landing pages for Black Friday and that's the end all be all. With Hub and Spoke, you have flexibility over your sales period so that you can adapt as your sales goals change. Maybe you want to rev up more subscriptions or some of your core products are out of stock. You can make those changes. And it doesn't really, it does nothing but hurt or does nothing but help at that point, And then finally, you have unique sales opportunities. So a bit like I mentioned before, this is prime buying time, right? So people who might normally not purchase your product are probably sitting there ready and willing to swipe their card or hit that Apple Pay faster than ever before. And so just about any shopper could be a buyer during Black Friday. And so Hub and Spoke allows you to reach new audiences, buyer personas, maybe geo-targeted areas that are probably otherwise deprioritized or not seen as a core buyer persona on your main e-commerce site. So I'm going to break down, I have 10 really cool funnel experiment ideas here. These are actually examples from brands that we work with right now that we've seen perform really well. But I've broken them down based on 5 very common goals that I see across brands during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We've got a couple experiment ideas for each. So depending on what your goal is, or maybe it's a couple mishmash of these, or maybe it does change over time, hopefully you can take some of these experiment ideas home with you and start leveraging them. So very common first goal is just it's Black Friday, baby. We want to make money. We want to scale sales. We're just trying to acquire customers. This is, like I said, this is a perfect time where people who might not normally buy your product are really open and willing and primed to purchase. And so I have 2 experiments here that'll help you kind of capture maybe those net new audiences or audiences that you haven't really tapped into as much. So the first one here is what I just call a new audience funnel. This is an example from a at-home laser hair removal brand called Nude. They have this tool, it's called the Flasher, very punny brand. But their typical buyer persona is a woman from 20s to 40s. And they hadn't done a lot of really experimenting with selling to men. And so they decided that they were going to create an end-to-end funnel that was targeted to men and try and unlock that new buyer persona. So they launched ads where they really targeted men in their creative and in their copy. They sent to landing pages that featured basically UGC style testimonials, video creative of men using the product, talking about how much they love it, their girlfriends and wives love it, that sort of thing. They then built a kind of custom embedded PDP here within this shopping experience, where the creative that you see here is like the product creative is all guys using the product instead of women. They mapped targeted upsells. So in this example, you can see there's like a black gentleman's kit that you can upsell to that includes some additional products and a nice little like leather dock kit. And then finally, they place some targeted upsells within the cart as well. So they're really maximizing not only the market and in expanding to a new market in general, but you can see all these stages along the way where they've made little tiny detailed optimizations in order to speak directly to this audience and scale up their average order value along the journey, specifically for a new buyer persona. The next experiment is language-specific funnels. So I see a lot of brands tinkering with a lot of different things here. There's like country selectors, language selectors. You've got like some possible Shopify apps and tools that can try and figure out from someone's IP address where they're based. This is like a super simplified way to experiment with converting customers in different countries or in different demos by literally speaking their language. So this example is from like a fitness brand called 54D. They sell workout guides and workout videos and all kinds of stuff. I think they were originally, I can't remember where they're originally based, but they had a huge Spanish speaking audience and a huge English speaking audience. And so they decided to essentially create unique funnels that are end to end language immersive experiences. And that way, when someone clicks on an ad that's in Spanish, they'll land on an entire shopping experience that's in Spanish, right? So ultimately, they were able to continue expanding the market by creating these language-driven funnel variants and increase the conversion rate because all the little bits and pieces on their entire shopping experience were like totally easy breezy for their shopper, no matter who they were. Second very common goal during BFCM is just kind of maximizing your marketing efficiency ratio. And where I see this most commonly shaking out with brands is like, hey, we want to make more money, or we want to make a lot of money, honestly, during Black Friday. But so many brands start their sales so early, they're discounting everything at like 80% off. We can't really do that, right? We want to make money, but we don't want to discount like crazy. We need to maintain our profit margins. I hear you, and I'm with you. So I've got two experiments here for you. The first one here is an example from a skincare brand that we work with called Wrinkle Schminkles. They have created, and this is actually an evergreen funnel that they use for them, but it's very usable for Black Friday as well. They have these patches that you wear like at night during the day, and they help reduce basically your body's like production of wrinkles from smushing your face around when you sleep, that sort of thing. This is like an alternative to things like Botox or, some sort of like plastic surgery, that sort of thing. So with Wrinkle Schminkles, they wanted to really emphasize the value of their patches compared to something like a Botox, right? And they didn't want to discount aggressively. And they already offered their patches in these like bundles and box sets. So for them, the anti-discount discount, this kind of like maximize the profit margin and value funnel, came from creating a dedicated funnel that highlights the comparative value of their patches and their patches bundle versus something like Botox injections. So in this example, they have a creator that's talking about like, people keep asking me if I got Botox, but I'm actually just wearing my patches. When you click on the ad, you go to a landing page that starts with a video creative that's almost like a mini slideshow, and it, puts up the cost of Botox injections per year versus their patches. They've got interesting like bundle-based discounting tags here for you as well that you can check out directly from that shoppable video. Once you click into the bundle, you can also see like the comparative value. There's product detail and description written about the comparative value of their patch bundles. And as you add that to bag, then you'll see upsells, additional packaged bundles of different types of products that they offer as well, different like patches for different places on your face. And then once you finally hit the cart, there's some more additional bundled upsells and like call outs for ones that are a really great fit and complement what you've already had in your cart with some additional products as well. So this is a great example of a funnel where they're taking information that exists out in the universe and they're saying, hey, using our product is just as effective and less expensive. So they're not doing really anything crazy with discounting here. The discounting is based around just their bundle-based value. But a really great opportunity for them to kind of present this as like a huge, awesome, sweet deal. This is also another bundle-based offer, but this is slightly different. So this is a supplement brand called Beam. They make a variety of different wellness supplements. I think here you can see the protein in this starter kit bundle. What they did was that they wanted to create a unique funnel for paid social that offers totally net new customers a bundle that actually isn't available anywhere else. And so this doesn't exist on their website. There isn't like a welcome kit bundle on their core Shopify site. They actually did was they worked with FERMÁT, which this allows you to kind of do it in our product as you're building your shopping experiences. But they went and kind of paired multiple products together to appear as though they're a bundle for a customer shopping. It looks like it's a bundle, but it's really just fulfilled like it would be on the back end if, you know, your fulfillment team is like just putting 3 separate products that were purchased individually into one box. It's fulfilled totally normally. It doesn't mess with your Shopify instance. And the cool thing here is that they have this cool end-to-end welcome kit funnel that emphasizes the value of this bundle. And this is like a evergreen offer that they have, right? So if you buy X amount of products, you get some sort of discount. You buy X on subscription, you get some sort of discount. So this isn't like a totally new, unique offer. They've just presented it to shoppers in this funnel as a really special bundle offer. And ultimately, this allows them to lift up that conversion rate without having to offer a crazy price slashed sort of discount. So here they've got this advertorial meets standard landing page, bundle focused landing page. In that landing page, they've got embedded shoppable pieces so that you can actually hit a buy box and add to cart straight from there. You can also go to a PDP if you want, which you can see in that like 4th image. As you continue scrolling down the page, you can also see additional bestseller upsells. And then of course, once you hit the cart, there's some upsells there as well for additional products. Okay, 3rd goal, acquire enthusiasts. So Black Friday, there's so many people running ads. It's just expensive to acquire new customers because of the law of supply and demand, right? There's only so much display ad space in the universe. And depending on how you're targeting and what you're offering and how the gods that be at the Meta AI black box that serves our ads work, it can be really expensive to acquire new customers. And so for some brands, the responsible and efficient goal during Black Friday, Cyber Monday is not to just acquire customers at all costs, but actually convert the right shoppers that will be buyers that have high LTV potential. So they're either going to be high AOV, which we'll talk about in a second, or they're going to be high LTV and hopefully stick around for the long run. So 2 experiments here. This first example comes from Gains in Bulk. They sell like creatine and I think protein and some other things like that, but supplement wellness brand. They offer a subscription starter kit, kind of similar to how Beam offers their welcome kit. But what they've created is a end-to-end funnel that basically only converts new customers on a subscription offer. So you click an ad with information on the welcome kit and the free gifts that you're going to get. You hit an advertorial kind of starter kit style landing page that's got information and it's all about the starter kit and why it sets you up for success and why you want to be on creatine on subscription and take it every day and every month. They've got that embedded buy box for the starter kit as well as the embedded PDP within the FERMÁT shopping experience. And then, of course, once they hit the cart, they're always given some more upsells. The cool thing about this funnel is that they were able to run this, and if you were able to click around here, unfortunately you can't, there's no one-time purchase option. So they're basically telling folks if you want to buy and you want to get this cool welcome kit, you've got to set up on a subscription. So that helps them with the cool welcome kit offer. It helps them rack up the conversion rate, but it also gives them that high subscription opt-in rate. And ultimately, hopefully, let's say folks stick around a subscription. I've heard that Gains in Bulk is amazing. It sounds like they do. That allows them to keep folks on for a couple months at minimum, so that way they can maximize the LTV of the customers that they acquire. And this is another really cool example. This is from an men's apparel brand called Jack Archer. They started with like one hero SKU that's a really comfy pair of pants. They're like structured and stain repellent, but they feel like athleisure when you wear them. And so they knew that people knew about their pants, but they sell other stuff too. And so what they wanted to do is when they acquired new customers, they wanted to introduce them to additional products that they come back and purchase more. They experience how awesome that free gift for purchase is, and they decided they want to come back and buy more of that thing, which in this example is a t-shirt. So they wanted to acquire new customers with this juicy welcome offer. They built this dedicated funnel where you click on an ad that's like buy 2 pairs of pants, get a free t-shirt. Allows folks to read a an advertorial style landing page on like a 5 reasons why these pants are so awesome. They hit the PDP. They get all sorts of cool information and reviews, UGC and testimonials from existing customers. And as they add 2 pairs of pants to their bag, then there's a pop-up that comes up here, and it allows them to add a t-shirt of their choice. The cool thing about this is that a lot of free gifts with purchase with brands tend to be like a cup or like a hat, right? But this allows them to choose a shirt in the colorway and the size of their choice. So they're getting what feels like a really custom, like exciting item as their free gift with purchase. And that way they get to try out that shirt and hopefully come back and purchase more again. So once they hit the cart, they'll see their 2 pairs of pants, that free gift with purchase, which they can of course edit if they want to change the color, the size. And then there are some complete the look recommended upsells there as well. But ultimately, this has been really awesome for Jack Archer, where they get people kind of in the door purchasing their core hero products, and then they get the chance to try out something complimentary, like their super awesome comfy t-shirts, come back and buy more t-shirts down the line. Okay, goal number 4, similar to what I was saying before, amplifying AOV. So if your goal is like, hey, we want to kind of maximize the value of these customers by ratcheting up their average order value during Black Friday, I got you. I've got 2 really fun experiments here. So this one is amazing for brands that have multiple SKUs that are complementary, be it like beauty, skincare, supplements. You can also do like this as a kind of complete the look with like a full outfit. But in this example, U Beauty is a really awesome skincare and beauty brand. They just wanted to maximize the value of the traffic coming from their paid ads, and they work with a lot of really cool creators. And so what they created here was an ad where a influencer creator is talking about, she's actually doing like a get unready with me. She's taking her makeup off, she's getting ready for bed, but it's like a get ready with me style routine. And she's using a bunch of different products from U Beauty. When you click on the landing page, you get a like Pia's nighttime routine pics. It's another complimentary video to what you saw in the ad. Those core products featured in the ad are right there when you land from the shoppable video. And then as you scroll down, you can see basically like a mini collection page of all the products that she used in the ad. So you can pick and choose which ones you'd like to add to cart. The product imagery and the details and descriptions are all related to this creator and why she loves these products so much. So if you click through because you love her or you trust her, then you're going to get a really cohesive and coherent experience. And then lastly, some of the other items that someone might not have put in their cart yet from the routine are offered at a discount in cart, so that they can snag some additional upsells as well. But ultimately, this is great for lifting your CVR and lifting your AOV, where you can basically present people like a complete beauty look, a complete outfit look, and basically give them the blueprint to recreate what they liked in the ad. And that way they can quickly add everything to cart. You can give them, additional benefits from adding multiple things to cart with discounting or bundling. But ultimately, it's a really great option for kind of upselling along the way and lifting that AOV. And then another bundle-based funnel. This one is a really unique example that we've seen with True Classic. If you're unfamiliar, True Classic is a men's apparel brand. They make fitted tees that men absolutely love because they like show off their arms and their chest and all kinds of good stuff. And so True Classic sells, you can buy single apparel items, but they also sell their most popular SKUs in these like big packs so that, you find a shirt that you like, you can get it in basically every color, right? You have one for every day of the week. And so in this experiment, True Classic wanted to create these like bundle heavy or bundle exclusive funnels. And so here they've got an end-to-end shopping funnel that's focused on the value of a 3-pack bundle. And then they add additional bundle upsells along the way. So here I couldn't find the exact ad for this one, but when you clicked on the ad, it was basically like a 3-pack offer style ad creative. You hit a landing page that is a 3-pack advertorial kind of shoppable content piece. They have the opportunity to like learn more about the shirt and all of its bits and pieces as you scroll down through the landing page. But then there's that embedded PDP where they can shop the 3-pack and choose the colors that they want. And then as they add to bag or add to cart, there are additional bundle packs that are offered. So here what True Classic has done is they've actually taken away the noise of like all the other single variant items that they offer on their website. And basically if someone clicks on a bundle multi-pack offer ad, they're going straight through a funnel that is a bundle multi-pack focused funnel where basically the only things they can purchase in that funnel, unless they choose to experiment otherwise, are bundles and multi-pack offers. So this is great if you are just trying to capitalize on these like shoppers who are really into bulk discounting, where if they are likely to buy a 3-pack, well, maybe you could upsell them to a 6-pack or a 9-pack, or maybe they get the 3-pack in one colorway and then they want to get the 3-pack in another colorway, or they get the 3-pack of shirts and then they want the 3-pack of shorts to go with it, right? So there's a lot of opportunity here for maxing out the AOV of those customers. And last main goal, if your goal is like, hey, we really need to get our conversion rate up around Black Friday, you know, our PDPs aren't converting, our champion landing pages aren't converting. Here are 2 really strong ideas for kind of de-frictioning your shopping experiences so that you can crank up that CVR. This one is really neat. So this is simplified variant merchandising. This is very, very effective if you offer a ton of SKUs. So you just have like a ton of options, or you have things that require people to make multiple decisions, multiple like variant selections before purchasing an item. So Caddis sells eyewear, they sell prescription glasses, they sell readers, they sell sunglasses. They have like literally thousands and thousands of SKUs. And they learned quickly that once they sent ad traffic to PDPs or to collection pages that had a ton of frames and a ton of different magnitudes and, you know, like sunglass versus transitional versus traditional lens, there was just too much friction in the shopping experience. So what they did was they took their best-selling frames, they made frame-specific ad creative, and for each frame, they would send to a landing page that's focused on that frame. And then you could choose, I want it in prescription, I want it in readers, I want it in sunglasses, whatever, because you clicked on it because you like the style. When you hit the PDP for the thing that you've chosen, then all you have to do is choose like the color, if they're just basic sunglasses, or the magnitude or strength, if they're prescription or readers. So they've super simplified the way that they're merchandising all these variants. And that way, when someone goes through the funnel, way less choices, way less decision fatigue, then they hit the cart and there's some targeted upsells of maybe some other frames that they might like along the way. But ultimately, that's a massive CVR lift in just reducing friction from lots of decision fatigue, too many variants. And the last experiment is what I just call a single value prop funnel. So maybe you don't have a lot of SKUs, but maybe you have a product that has a bunch of different benefits. This is honestly pretty true about like any products, right? So like even the shirt that I'm wearing, you know, I could sell it as being the softest shirt or the best fitting shirt, whatever it is. But typically when you're running ad creative, you're trying to pitch, you know, a particular angle, why someone should want to purchase your product. You're trying to capture a singular product value proposition or a buyer persona. Armra is a colostrum brand. Their product is like great for a billion different things. It's like similar to collagen in the sense that like it's great for your hair, your skin, your nails, your gut health, all those sorts of things. And so what they've done is they've built funnels for each kind of value prop that matches the ad creative. And it reduces the noise of all those other product benefits, so that if someone clicks on an ad for their product for bloating, then they're getting an end-to-end bloating shopping experience. Or if someone clicks on an ad for hair growth, then they're getting an end-to-end hair growth experience. So this example here, they've offered an ad, or they've presented an ad that's very specific to bloating. They've got an advertorial that talks about why Armra is like the best solution for getting rid of bloating for good. Their PDP, their creative, their descriptions, and their reviews are segmented to all talk about bloating specifically. Then they've got some complementary upsells that both pop up and are in the cart, but ultimately you're just reducing that buyer friction and that extra noise where, you know, sometimes you hit on a supplement landing page and there are like 10 different value props and you're like, there's no way that this is going to work for everything, right? But if you can create these super niche down targeted funnels that map back to the reason why someone clicked on an ad, you're far more likely to have a higher conversion rate. And so with funnels like these, Armra has seen significant lift in conversion rate as well as their subscription opt-in rate, which ultimately helps them maximize the value of each of their ad clicks. Last piece, and then I'm almost done. So big question, what is FERMÁT? If you haven't heard of us yet, let me give you the quick rundown. So FERMÁT, we're a tech solution and we help you create funnels the same way that you create ads. So kind of like I was talking about as a growth marketer, you know, you might only be used to having control over the media buying, the ad placement, the ad creative, the ad copy. But with FERMÁT, you have that level of experimentation, flexibility, and surface area, and the speed, honestly, to do it quickly all the way through the funnel, so that from ad all the way to the cart experience, you can use our no-code builder. Doesn't require design or dev or anything like that. And you can build these funnels. You can choose exactly which offers you want to present, exactly which creative you want to show in the product merchandising. You can change up the product description. You can choose to only show certain variants or only subscription versus subscription and one-time purchase. You just have so much more flexibility, so that you're no longer stuck with just creating the ad and hoping it converts down the line, but instead you have the opportunity to really experiment, optimize throughout the entire buyer journey and throughout the entire funnel. I just said this. Here's some more pieces here. So you can see, for example, this breaks down, like you can also split test with us. So you can run experiments on, the types of creative that you're showing, when someone hits the lander, or how you're messaging, all that sorts of stuff. And then you can also split test it. So you can break down how many people actually initiated checkout, or the average order value of using different creative on that landing experience, or different upsells, all that kinds of stuff. Here are some like brag metrics, but ultimately the TLDR is that when you get to experiment, you get to own that outcome throughout the funnel, their performance gains that come as a result. And so when you're building and experimenting on these really targeted funnels, you will see a reduction in CAC. You're going to see an increase in purchases. You're going to be able to see an increase in subscription rate. And bottom line, there is a contribution margin lift that you'll see as a result of running these experiments. So all that being said, if you're interested in learning more about FERMAT and maybe trying to roll us out before you start with Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales, or you're interested at any point in checking us out, you can scan this QR code. And because we're partners with Suna, we'll be able to give you a 15% discount on your platform fees for your first year of building funnels with us, which is super awesome. So I will leave this up, but Erica, that is all for me.
Alexa, oh my gosh, yes, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, what incredible information. I love all 10 of the experiments that you shared. I think it's super helpful to see just real things that people are doing out there. So for those who have questions, can you please go ahead and put your questions in the chat? I'm happy to ask those questions, but I definitely have a few questions for you. I noticed in a lot of your examples, you showed some really great UGC video. So what do you recommend, or what are you seeing a lot of brands using for that top of funnel creative right now?
Yeah, I think it really depends on the brand and the industry. So in some of these examples, we have seen, like with the U Beauty example, there are some really incredible beauty creators out there, particularly like in TikTok land, who are doing the get readies with me's. And the kind of like the OG YouTube beauty influencer has now evolved into the TikTok and Instagram reels. So there's a lot of really great content that can come out of those partnerships. I'm less bullish on like traditional influencer advertising than I am on paying someone to make creative where they incorporate one or multiple of your products, and then you're using that creative and you have the flexibility to kind of use it how you'd like, right? So in things like these landing experiences. So I think there's really cool opportunity there where you can work with creators on that routine style creative or implementation and usage of product style creative. I think there's also a huge opportunity for using actual testimonials and photos and videos that you get from your customers. Back when I worked in the supplement space, I was absolutely shameless. Sometimes I would log into our customer, like into our Zendesk, what we use for managing customer tickets. And when someone was super stoked or super happy, I'd be like, that's amazing. I would love to send you free product if you just want to send me some like pics of it in your house. Are you happy with it, right? Because those are easily things that you can like splice, combine together, and kind of make like a highlight reel of different people using your product and loving your product. I think ultimately the goal of whatever sort of influencer creative or UGC acquired creative that you're trying to use is you want to optimize for authenticity. So it's super felt and real when people script things, and it's like, I'm almost morally opposed to asking folks to read off of scripts. I'm like, just give me your raw, honest thing and I can edit it and make it sound good and crispy rather than reading off a script. But then just make sure that you work with people or use content from people who really look like your buyer and seem like your buyer. It's just all about like authenticity and finding that genuine content. And then you can probably weigh in a bit on this, Erica, as well, when it comes to like actual photography and videography. But one of my biggest pro tips is avoiding like yellow fluorescent dim lighting in anything that you
Oh my gosh.
source.
Yes. Yes.
It is the worst. It makes your product look crappy, even if it's amazing. And so when you're working to get creative from someone or asking creative for someone, just ask for like bright or natural light, and it will always make your product look better and always perform better than like shot in someone's like closet under their fluorescent overhead, you know?
Oh my gosh, I couldn't agree more. I mean, one of our missions at Suna, right, is to make the internet a more beautiful place. And we believe that beautiful photos help sell content. And
Yeah.
you know, think about a world where there are no beautiful photos. I mean, can you imagine going to Amazon or, you know, a brand's landing page and just trying to buy a product with no photos, like only text? I mean, that would be wild. So I love too what you mentioned with the experiment for nude, right? How they're really retargeting their men customers, right? Their male customers. And so I loved having that, you know, UGC of a male person using the product, but then also the landing page, right, with all male photography and male focused imagery. I thought that was really, really great. I mean, another question I have for you is like, what would you say is the number one mistake that you are seeing brands make right now with their funnel?
Gosh, it's so hard. Just one. I think the mistake is kind of what I was talking about, right? So it's like assuming that every single person that clicks on an ad should go through pretty much the same funnel is a massive mistake. It's just such a missed opportunity. So I was trying to make sure I didn't go too much over on time. But like looking back on some of those slides where you see like the nude example is a perfect example, right? So that obviously is a totally new buyer persona for them. They pretty much don't have guys on their website at all. Their core product pages pretty much don't have guys in their photography or anything. What they did there was they actually changed like the product description in that embedded PDP. They segmented the reviews to just show reviews from guys, right? And so like giving that opportunity for someone to have a really targeted and personalized experience rather than land in your catch-all funnel that you hope you can get to convert between 1% and 2% is like a massive difference for brands. Like e-commerce brands love to talk about incrementality, but like screw incrementality and all the fancy words that we all use. Like if you're able to create multiple different funnels that convert less people because you have multiple of them, right? They're converting at a higher conversion rate, but they're just less purchases because you have 5 really locked in funnels versus 1 locked in funnel that doesn't convert as many people. That's a huge opportunity. And so my biggest like pro tip is to try and use this hub and spoke model if you can. And like, I'm obviously would love for you to try FERMAT. It's going to be the fastest and easiest way for you to do it, but there are ways to test it without using our product. And you will feel the difference in just being able to provide people extremely congruent and cohesive experiences from ad all the way to cart.
Great, great. And then really my last question for you, I know Black Friday, Cyber Monday is coming up, right? I know you mentioned that it's just a pretty long cycle now. When do you recommend, right, in the dream world, like when should folks start testing and experimenting? Like what is the
yesterday? Yesterday, but you don't need to be running Black Friday creative. Okay. But what I've done a couple of these already this year. We've written a lot of like ebook contributions so far this year. And no matter when they've gone out, I've been like, start testing today. Because the reality is like so much can change over your sales period. And also you have no idea what the market's going to be like once everybody starts advertising all at once. So like, wouldn't it be so great to have kind of like, for lack of a better phrase, a couple weapons in your pocket rather than like just coming to the war and only having your one, right? And so if you are experimenting on your offers, if you're experimenting on your messaging, all those sorts of things, like start doing it now, make it seem like you're just giving people a cool offer for no reason, and then just change the messaging to be Black Friday related later, right? And you can start playing and seeing how people respond to different things now and then adapt later. What I hate to see brands do is like scramble at the last minute and then they just start like launching these 75 to 80% off sales because they're not making money. Great, you're converting, but you're also not making money and you're just, you're just running sales just to get people through. So I highly recommend starting to experiment now and giving yourself the lead time, because the reality is that most brands and advertisers are going to start launching Black Friday like a month from now, which is
That's
crazy.
such a great tip. I know, I think sometimes there is this misconception of like, oh, you're going to start running everything, in a few weeks, but really no, you can start testing now. Like you can really start doing all of that A/B testing, like you mentioned, right? The copy testing, the visual testing, different ad tests now, and see what works with your audience.
Totally. And honestly, like even if you did want to launch it Black Friday labeled right now, there's going to be some consumer somewhere that's like, oh, heck yeah, I'm getting the first dibs on this deal, right? The other day I got served a Father's Day creative that a brand had never turned off because it was still performing really well. And it's like, you as a consumer, you're like, ooh, I figured something out. They forgot to take this down. It's a hack or whatever. Like I'm getting in early. But like they're making money, right? And I'm buying things. So
That's
if
so
it works, it
funny.
works.
Yes. I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're busting out Mariah sooner every year. I feel like I see her video come into my feed and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's here already. But yeah,
Amazing.
that's amazing. Well, Alexa, we appreciate your time so much. And so for those who are still with us, this video will be also posted on our YouTube channel, and it'll be linked on our website landing page. I'm going to put this up again one more time. If you want to learn more from Alexa and her team over at FERMÁT, check out this QR code here. But yeah, thanks again. I really appreciate it. Great chatting with you. And thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.